I felt like I had to make a video about what happened today for the first time, and I've kind of been dancing around this. I've been wanting to go to a support group like this for a while, but for obvious reasons, I haven't. yeah, yeah. And the support group is people that have lost someone to suicide. um, as you know, my best friend committed suicide. So I finally went to a support group specifically for someone that lost somebody to suicide. Like I've been to grieving support groups, I've been to different support groups, but never for specific about suicide. And I went to this support group for many reasons, not just to grieve and get over, and helped me grieve my best friend, which I realize I'm still grieving him. I realized that recently. After all these years, I'm still grieving him. It's like the only person that cared about me my whole life, like really cared about me. Like he cared about me to the point where, like I didn't think God cared about me, so I thought he was the only one that cared about me on the planet for most of my life. That's how much he mattered to me. He was the only one that cared about me, and I I admit it. I put him above God, as far as someone that cared about me, because it didn't seem like, from what I went through growing up, that I didn't think God cared about me. So he was the one that cared about me the most, my best friend. So, but anyways, but these days I'm like, oh, maybe God did care, and I didn't know it. Yeah, just watched from a distance, but cared from a distance, as always. Never swoops down to save the day. Yeah, to defend you from abuse. But I won't get into that again for the millionth time. You already figured out. Jesus doesn't come to swoop down and defend you from abuse. He doesn't. At least in my experience, he doesn't swoop down, stop the abuse from happening, and protect you like a savior, like you would think is a savior. He doesn't work that way. He's a savior that just lets shit play out for a long while. And then at the end of your rope, he jumps in. That's what I've experienced. God bless him. Yeah. But I won't get into that. Enough about that. And why I don't understand the way Jesus works, because I don't. And no one understands the way he works. But for some reason, it's for everyone's benefit, the way he works, Anyways, enough about that before he strikes me down. Anyways. But he already knows I want him to strike me down. He already knows that. But everyone won't think bad of me if Jesus strikes me down. No one will think bad of me. It's pretty honorable, If Jesus is the one that strikes you down, that's a pretty honorable way to go. I think so. Yeah. Anyways. So I went to this support group, back to the topic, for many reasons. And God knows one of the reasons I have gone to the support group, not just for my best friend, but for me. Like, God knows I've struggled. I have, and I admit this completely. Why suicide is bad. You know what I mean? Everyone dies. We all die. What's the difference? How you die. You know what I mean? And God knows that. I've never understood that. Someone's in pain and suffering. He can't be healed no matter what he does. Even asking Jesus to heal him, still suffering, like in my case. course you're going to think the only option is death, ending your life, if even God's not able to heal you. You know, and that's the point I've been at. I'm like, I'm not even healed. I don't think God can heal me. I don't think the medical community can heal me either, because I've tried that. I'm mainly talking about the CPTSD, the painful CPTSD that I have, plus the physical pains of my body, God knows I've tried everything. So basically, I'm just suffering every day. I am. And God knows I think I'm suffering for no reason now. You know what I mean? Before I thought I was suffering for a reason. Like, okay, God has a plan, somehow things are going to work out. I'm going to, get married and all that stuff. Somehow things are going to work out. But that never happened. So now this is the main reason why I've been wanting out. I don't see a point at this point. I don't see a point at this point to suffer for no reason, no reason at all, no future, nothing. I'm just suffering. To me, I'm just suffering for no reason. I'm just a loner that suffers by himself. Can you see where I'm coming from? I'm like, there's no point to this, God. I'm just suffering for no reason now, And he knows I've hit that point. I'm like, I'm just suffering for no reason. So I went to the suicide group to help me realize that even though I'm a loner, my death will still impact people somehow. That even though I spend most of my time alone, no one hangs out with me. For the most part, no one hangs around me. I'm a loner most of the time. Somehow my death will impact everybody. So I'm trying to see that. I am. I'm like, because I'm not staying alive for myself. I'm like staying alive to not hurt other people. And it's been like that my whole life. Like I'm staying alive so I don't hurt other people if I die by my own hand. It'll hurt them, even though I'm the one that's suffering, and they know I'm suffering. But I end my life and, it's bad, that I'm out of my suffering. I don't know. It's always been weird, So anyways, God knows, he knows everything. And he knows, like, a part of me, he's got to know, like, he's the reason I'm suicidal. God is. That's the crazy part about all this. He's the reason. Everyone's like, why are you suicidal? God betrayed me when I was a kid. God betrayed me in my life. That's why, I felt like God was against me. That's why I'm suicidal. It is. God knows it. It's not like, oh, I'm suicidal because of me. It isn't. It's because of God. That's what's so crazy about all this. I thought about this today. Like, I'm suicidal because of God himself. The inaction of God. That's what I'll say. The inaction of God. God's inaction. Whatever laws he has that binds him to not do anything for so long. That inaction I'm talking about. God has a lot of tolerance of watching somebody suffer like you would not believe. God can watch someone suffer like no one else. I'm being dead serious. He was able to watch Jesus suffer. Like Jesus suffered. He was able to watch it all the way through. God has tolerance to watch suffering. So it's the same case with me. He has a lot of tolerance to just watch all my suffering. Unchecked, unprotected, unchallenged. Just pure suffering. He has a lot of tolerance to just watch it. He does. So that's what I've learned about God. He has a lot of tolerance to watch suffering. Even if it hurts him to watch suffering, which it probably does. It probably does, It's probably painful for him to watch the suffering and have his hands bound by free will, I guess. The laws of free will binds God's hands to the point where he has to watch you suffer. He has to just watch it, basically. Even if it's probably is hurtful, very hurtful for God to watch you suffer and not be able to jump in. Basically, it's got to be, you know. But anyways, I don't know. That's probably why God just lets me say whatever the hell I want, because He's like, He understands. I think, maybe, you know. I've been through so much that I don't even feel like a person anymore. You know what I mean? That's a lot. To be through so much, you don't even feel like a person at all. Nothing. That's a lot of suffering. Just like, who's Adam? I don't know. I'm not him. I don't feel like Adam, Although I think that's coming back, but anyways. But all traces of who I was just wiped away, gone, No more me, But anyways, so I went to the support group for a lot of reasons. And I think it was helpful because, like, I don't know. I'm like, if I said straight up in the support group, I'm like, if I'm still alive, God knows exactly how I feel and why I am the way I am for most of my life. He's got to know, So I thought about this today. I'm like, this is no bullshit. And God knows this. I'm okay to die at any point, at any time. I'm okay. I am. I'm fine. If God were to take me right now, I'd be good with that. If He were to take me out in 2 seconds from now, I'd be good with that. I'm good to die at any time. He knows that. I'm good to go. That's how much I don't want to be here. There's nothing for me here. In my opinion, there's never been anything. Really. Even if I tried, it's like I still can't connect with anybody. Anyways, I'm in too much pain to enjoy life anyways, So like, why bother? But just like suffer just to suffer. You don't even want to be here. Don't even like it here. Just suffer just to suffer. That's where I'm at right now. Just suffer just to suffer. That's why I think I'm still here, just to suffer. But God thinks there's something more for me here. Some purpose of some kind that I don't see, that He's never told me. So, I don't know. So basically the bottom line is I'm trying to see death as a bad thing. Even though everybody dies, I'm just like, everybody dies. What's the big deal? That's how I've been. Most of my life, I'm like, what's the big deal? Might as well just get it over with. That's how I've been my whole life. Might as well. And I'm sure I wouldn't be like that if my life was more pleasant. If my life as a whole was more pleasant, I wouldn't be like, oh, let's get it over with. Just like I was thinking about it, like the last time I ended my life, it was like it was just like I was chewing some bubble gum. It was so casual, God knows that's true. It was just so casual to me, just like, that's bad, That's how bad my life was. It was just so casual, just like chewing bubble gum. Suicide was just like chewing bubble gum. It was like nothing to me. And that's why I go to the support group. I want to see it differently, see how it impacted the people there, And another thing I realized, like, I think it's okay for me to take myself out. But for other people, I see it as a problem. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, don't do that. You should live. But for me, it's different. And I notice that. And I don't know if that's a self-hate, that's real self-hate or what. But for me, it's like, yeah, for me, yeah, it's different with me. Yeah, with me, it's different. Yeah, taking myself out, that's different than someone else taking themselves out. That's what I realized today. I did. Like, huh. But anyways, but I told him straight up, like, I'm still going forward. I don't even know how things will work out at all. You know what I mean? Like, I should be wanting to die. You know, because I don't think things will work out. I don't know how things will work out with all my health problems, you know, that can't get resolved, you know. And I thought about this. I'm like, I mean, if God cannot heal CPTSD, no one can. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've come to. I'm like, if God can't even heal it by now, no one can. So I feel like I have something that's incurable and painful. I mean, it'd be different if it was incurable and not painful. You know what I mean? I think I could live with that. It's the painful part that makes it tough to keep living. You know, it is painful. It is painful to keep staying alive. It is. God knows it's painful. If it wasn't painful, I'd go no problem. I keep going if it wasn't painful, but it is. In many ways, it is. But anyways, enough about that. If Jesus can take it, I can. Like, part of me's like, God damn it. Why does there have to be someone else that's been through this shit too, you know? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I can't even, I still can't believe Jesus went through the same shit as I did to this point. I still can't believe that. I still can't believe it. I can't. To the point where I am right now, talking to a camera like this, you know, the only way I could is if he went through everything. Everything. That's insane to me, you know. Because if he didn't, I wouldn't even be here. You know, if he didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even have a purpose. I wouldn't even do that because Jesus didn't go through what I went through. So there'd be no purpose for me. There'd be no one to carry me. There'd be no one to guide me. There'd be no one to rebuild me, basically, if Jesus didn't suffer my life already. If that makes sense. Basically, he's been a step ahead of me because he suffered my life already. He's been a step ahead of me. Crazy shit, I know. Crazy shit. But anyways, I wanted to show, enough about that crazy talk that I do. I wanted to show my best friend. I don't know if you can see that. Here's a better picture. I hope he doesn't mind me exposing him. Yeah, hope he doesn't mind. Probably doesn't. See that? That's my best friend. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think he'd mind. I've been meaning to show him eventually. He even has a YouTube channel. So if you want to hear him talk and stuff, he had his own YouTube channel before he passed away. Before even I started doing YouTube. But he but yeah, if you saw his YouTube channel of him talking and stuff, you would kind of see like a similarity between him and me, the way we talk and stuff. You can, like, even I notice the similarity between me and him talking. That's how close we are. Like our souls are. It seems like. But so, like he always knew me. He always knew me better than I knew me. He always knew I was somebody more than I thought I was. Always. He saw something in me I never saw. Never. That's part of the reason I walk this road, is to figure out what the hell he saw in me. Like, who am I? But I feel like at the same time, he knew who I was, but Jesus did too. Like, the both of them did. So it's kind of been the both of them helping me. It seems like the combination of probably more, I don't know. Probably more Jesus helping. But his name's Chad, my best friend's name's Chad. He's the reason that I keep going. I should be living for myself, but I don't. Like, I don't know how to live. I don't know how to live, really. I don't. I know the basics, eat, sleep, I know the basics, but I don't really know how to live, like, enjoy life. I don't know how. I just know how to do basic survival, But I feel like God's been teaching me how to live a little more than just basic survival. Eat, sleep, breathe, basically. And that's one of the reasons I realized I do want off the planet, is I don't even know how to live, really. I don't know how to enjoy life. I've never been in a relationship, like, love. I've never loved somebody for real, like, fully, I haven't. God knows that. Although I do feel like I'm feeling love more than I ever have before, these days. But anyways, I know I'm all over the place, but you guys have seen me enough that you get me by now. I'm all over the place, with these videos. But I feel like you should understand me by now. If you don't understand me by now, then I'm sorry. But anyways, something interesting. This was the most interesting thing about the support group, the suicide loss support group from tonight. I introduce myself. I tell them my name. And despite me telling them my name, I tell the people there my name. They call me by my best friend's name. Throughout the whole night, they keep messing it up. They keep calling me Chad. And I'm like, that can't be an accident. They kept calling me Chad. They did. I'm like, they kept messing it up. So I'm like, that can't be an accident. So I felt like he was with me, like within me. Like I thought about Dragon Ball Z again. We both like Dragon Ball Z, me and him. We both relate to Dragon Ball Z, like leveling up and being a warrior, leveling up and stuff, We understand that shit, like honor and stuff like that. But in Dragon Ball Z, like, two warriors fuse together, It's in the show, like, there's a point in the show where two warriors fuse together, become one. That's kind of how it felt like him and I became one, him and me. So it's been kind of interesting, So maybe that's something God allowed, because He knows I'm at a pivotal point right now. I need something. You know what I mean? Because God knows, like, I know this is crazy for a lot of true followers of God, true believers of God, true followers of Jesus. Your whole lives you were like that. But for me, it's different. That doesn't really motivate me. You know, you know, give me that boost, from just. I know it sounds weird. It means more from my best friend than right now to give me that second boost than from Jesus. I know that sounds weird. But God knows that already. Like I said, Jesus and I aren't like this. We're not. I'll just say that we're not like this right now. It takes time to be like this. We're not like that. So God knows that. I'm not really sure how to be like this with Jesus, to be honest. I don't know how. It was easier to be like this with my best friend Chad, for sure. I kind of liked it better when it was just, the two of us, and Jesus was just left out of it. You know what I'm saying? Me with my Jesus issues. It was no secret. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew I had Jesus issues, my whole life, you know, you know, you know. Watch me be abused. I'll show you, never respect you again, Jesus. That's how it was. It's like a real God would have defended me. A true Savior would have defended me. He would have came to my rescue. But that didn't happen. So, like I said, most of my life, this is no joke, and God knows this. I try to outdo Jesus. I've said it many times. I had I'm pretending to do things of the world, going through the motions of the world, doing jobs of the world, you know what I mean? Like doing human stuff, But at the same time, I'm trying to outdo Jesus. The whole time, you know what I mean? I'm trying to outdo him, I'm like, I'll show you. I'll suffer more than you. Anyways, that's ancient history, hopefully. But that's the craziest part, that Jesus was never distracted, He watched me the whole time. So he kept pace with me the whole time. You know what I mean? With my suffering. He watched it. He kept pace with it. He's keeping pace with me right now. That's why I thought, I'm like, damn, he's not even distracted. That's what bothers me about him, about Jesus. He doesn't get distracted like I do. I get distracted by things. Different things on the planet, I get distracted. But not him. He doesn't get distracted at all. Not at all. So he's been able to keep pace wherever I go. He keeps pace with me, I think he's helping people over there. He probably is, but he's still keeping pace with me over here. You know what I mean? He can do both at the same time. You know what I mean? So that's what's impressive. Yeah. I don't want to admit that someone's better than me in suffering wise and strength. Those two things. There's someone out there better than me. Jesus. There is someone that's better than me. You know, he's been through it. He's been through the ringer. I can't face it. It's hard for me to deal with. Like my whole life was like, and he already knows this, my whole life was just to show, to prove that I could out-suffer him. I could outdo him. My whole life was like that. And I failed. So I'm like, fuck, what now? What left is there for me to do on the planet? I already failed on the one thing I tried to do. The one thing I tried to do, out-suffer Jesus, I failed. How do I know I failed? I'm alive right now. That's how I know I failed. But he definitely knows me better than I know myself. I know that. That's another thing. He knows me better than I know myself. I don't really know myself, like I said. That's another reason why I don't care about myself. I don't even know myself. Why would I care about myself? I don't even know myself. Yeah. But anyway, I know it's a touchy subject, but I felt like I had to face it, the suicide thing. Because like, God knows I've been through so much that I don't see it as a bad thing. For me, I don't. And I know that's a problem. Like, I do know that I don't see it as a bad thing. Other people see it as a bad thing. I don't. That's what I'm trying to remedy, I've never seen death as a bad thing. Never. I'm just like, everybody dies, might as well get over with. Skip all this stuff and skip all this life in between, That's what I said. It's like, skip all this riffraff in between death, Have relationships? I don't want to do that. Yeah. That kind of future was already shot down from me, When I was a kid, I feel like all avenues were shut down with abuse, So I was just like, let's get to the end. Let's finish this. So teaching myself or training myself that there's more to me. This is it. There's more to me than just me dying. There's more to me than just me dying. That's a crazy concept. Crazy concept for me. Like I only think I'm here to die. God knows that. I only think I'm here to die, and that's it. I don't even try to live a real life, or connect with anybody. I just think I'm here to die anyways, I'm just like, they'll betray me anyways, Doesn't matter. So they'll betray me. And usually I'm right. They'll betray me. And then I'm just like, I end up wanting to die anyway. Back to square one, It's always back to square one. So, yeah, but I feel like I learned some things, Because, suicide does affect people dramatically, And it's affected me. My best friend affected me still, And I asked them, like, does this ever go away? Because it's been like 10 years since my best friend died. 11 years since my best friend died. 11 years, and I'm still affected. 11 years later, I'm still affected by his suicide. 11 years. It's almost like it's a part of me, His suicide's a part of me, big part of me. And I'm like, does this ever go away? And they're like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, fuck. So there's no end to this. Just like in the 12-step program, there's no end to that program either. There's no end to these support groups. I'm like, God damn it. Was there never a healing point? When it's all over, like I'm fully healed. I don't have to come to support groups anymore. Does that point ever come? That's another thing I've been disappointed with. There's no end to the support groups. There's no completion. There's no end. I'm like, what the hell? God knows that bothers me, that there's no completion to the support groups. Like, oh, I'm healed. I'm good. I don't need a support group anymore. Basically, is what I'm looking for. That doesn't exist. The support groups go on forever. They tell you to keep going to the support group forever. I'm like, what the hell? It just feels like I'm in organized religion again, but with support groups, just like there's no end. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, get me out of here. This ain't worth it. I always come back to them. Like, this ain't worth it. Like, I wanted out of here, like, pretty shortly after I was born. I wanted out of here, I played a few good video games, and then I wanted out of here. Basically. I'm like, oh, these video games are pretty cool, and Dragon Ball Z was pretty cool, but I want to get out of here now. So God knows better than anybody. Better than anybody. I wanted off the planet for so long. Like nobody else. I want off the planet like no one else that's ever lived. That's why it's so incredible that I'm still going. It's incredible, Only with Jesus, I swear. Only with Jesus am I able to keep going. I'm serious, not end my life. Only with Jesus can I do this. Just like, I don't even like it here. I have to face life over and over and over. I don't even like it here. Like, this sucks. This really sucks. Anyways, I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. But for me, really, it never was. And that's why I'm trying to go. That's why I went to the support group. I'm like, it's kind of weird. My friend's suicide has affected me. It affects me. But at the same time, I don't see me dying as bad. Does that make sense? And God knows that about me. I don't see me dying as bad at all. I'm suffering. I'm not cured. Why should I keep going? That's how I say it. That's how I see it. Like, I'm suffering. There's no cure. If there's no cure, why should I keep going if there's no cure? That's how I am. Why keep suffering for no reason, Like, people are like, just suffer with Jesus, suffer for Jesus. People don't even think I believe in Jesus anyways. You know what I mean? So why would I suffer anyways, To people who don't even believe that anyways, Even if it's true, which it probably is. Like, him and I suffer together, despite what anybody says, Like I said, I've been called everything in the book. You know what I mean? But despite that, Jesus has stuck with me. You know what I mean? Still suffers with me, despite what anybody calls me. Doesn't matter. He watched my life. He knows how I was treated. He knows. He knows I can take anything anybody dishes out. I can take it. Most of the time I set it up, for people to cut me down. So if you're cutting me down in the comments, I'm setting you up. 100%. Think about that. And God already knows that. He's like, he's making people hate him again. Because that's all he knows. He only knows how to make people hate him because that's all he knows. Which is true. All I know is like when everybody doesn't hate me, it makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It does. So when people like me, like I think some of you do like me, it's weird. Like, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I'm used to people hating me. You know, I am. You know, God knows that. You know, I'm used to being seen as the bad guy, evil. You know, I'm used to that. You know, look at the way I talk. I have to be evil if I'm talking like this. You know, if I'm talking like this, I have to be bad to the core. You know, God doesn't fall for that though. Never has. He doesn't fall for any of that shit that other people fall for. Everyone's like, you're the spawn of the devil. God's like, no, he's not. God's smart. He can see past any behavior I show. God can see past it. He can. He can see past my cussing. He can see past my anything. He can see past it. He knows I'm not all bad to the core. I'm not all bad. There's a good part of me. There's a good part of my body. A good part of my heart. There's a good part still. He knows that. That's like the only reason it keeps me alive is that good part of my heart that's still there. That redemptive small part of my heart that's good. Still, you know. God's like, there's still a good part of his heart left. We gotta save it. That's exactly what he's doing. Saving that one good part of my heart. Like making it grow. You know. Still it's a bigger goodness, you know, of the heart, you know. That's why it's like you gotta stay alive because I'm making you change, you know, I'm changing you. That's why you gotta stay alive. You gotta have patience. I'm changing you to something a good person, you know, that can love and stuff. And I'm changing you. So be patient. Yeah. Don't call it quits, basically. Yeah. Even though you don't have a wife and kid right now, don't give up, you know. You don't have a kid named Timmy right now. Don't give up because you don't have a kid named Timmy. I swear, if I ever have a boy, I'm gonna name him Timmy. I will. That came to me for some reason. That had been. So. Can you imagine like a miniature me running around named Timmy? God bless him. I hope to God he doesn't go through anything I went through. That's the one hope I have. Nothing. I don't want him going through shit. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have a damn good life. No one is gonna abuse Timmy. Ever. Mark my words. You know what I'm saying? So. Anyways. But I do think that it took a lot of courage to go to this support group, more than other support groups. It took a lot more courage for obvious reasons, you know. I'm like the most suicidal person that's ever walked the earth. And I'm going into a suicide support group. You know what I mean? It takes fucking balls, courage, like, you know. But I did it, you know, because I really want to see it as a bad thing. I'm serious. That's one of the reasons I go. I'm like, why is it a bad thing? To end pain and suffering. Why is it a bad thing? That's how I am, you know. I'm just like, isn't it selfish for everybody else to keep that person alive and feel guilty? You know, that person that's suffering, to say if you call it quits, you're selfish to the person that's suffering. Yeah. I always thought that was fucked up. Like everybody else around me isn't suffering like I am, but they're like, you're selfish if you end your life. But you're the one that's suffering. But you're selfish. And it'll hurt all of us. But we're not suffering. But you are. But we want you to stay alive and suffer longer. Because it'll hurt all of us. But what about the person that's suffering? Yeah. They're just staying alive for the hell of it, just so they don't hurt other people. That's what I figured out. You know, I'm just staying alive not to hurt others. You know, basically, I'm not ending my life just so I don't hurt people. I'm not staying alive for me or that I love life. I'm just saying, just doing it so I don't hurt people. Yeah, basically. That's how it's been for most of my life. It's just like, if I end my life, it'll hurt people. But what about me? You know, I'm the one that's suffering. So, it's just like, isn't it selfish for them to want me to stay alive? You know? So I'm like staying alive just so they don't get hurt, you know? Like, this makes no sense. So basically, I've never stayed alive because I wanted to. You know, it's always been for other people, you know? Just like, oh, they'll get hurt if I end my life. Oh, they'll get hurt. Yeah. That's how it's always been, you know? But anyways, it's getting late, but just felt like it was an important video to make. Just like, I'm trying to see death as a bad thing somehow. Even though we all die. You know? But dying in certain ways is bad. You know what I mean? Even if you have unhealable illnesses that'll never be healed, there's no cure. Basically, even though there's no cure, dying is bad still. Ending your suffering is bad. That's the thing I'm confused by. God knows it. It's always confused me. I'm just like, you're just suffering for no reason. Pointlessly. You know, there's no cure for you. You know, ever. You're just suffering. Like, how's that enjoyable life? You know, how's that fun? How is that a life? You know, and that's where I'm at. Just like, how is that a life? You know, because in my opinion, what I'm doing, suffering like I am, it's not a life. Never has been. That's why I'm like, God, this is pointless. I seriously, I'm like that. He's like, he knows I'm doing that. I'm like, this is pointless. It's fucking pointless, you know. There's no cure for me. This is pointless, you know. But I keep going. I'm an idiot, I guess. You know. But anyways, but that was interesting that they called me by my best friend's name the whole night. You know, they totally forgot my name and just said, called me my best friend's name. Yeah. So I thought that was no accident. You know, like him and I are one. You know, it's not just me going right now. It's the two of us. You know, so it's a lot more strength if there's two of us together. Yeah, in one body, basically. fused together, like in Dragon Ball Z. So, anyways, that's good enough for this video, I think. But yeah, it was a big deal going to that support group. Because God knows I've always struggled with this topic. Always. I'm like, ending suffering is bad. Why? Ending your pain and suffering is bad. Why? You know, like, God knows I don't get it. I don't get it, you know? Like, at least for me, I don't get it. For other people, I'm like, okay, you need to live, you know? For other people, I'm like, oh, yeah, you need they'll find a cure for you. They'll find a way. They'll find a cure. But for me, it's different. You know, like there's, yeah. It's interesting. I just thought of that. It is interesting. Why I don't see it as bad. But if like other people are going to do it, I'm like, oh, no, don't do it. You know, it's interesting. Yeah, very interesting, for sure. But God knows I've always struggled with this. Always. Like, in my mind, I should be dead already, you know? So I'm just like, just finish it, you know? I haven't really lived since I was a kid. Yeah. I haven't really lived since I was a kid. Just, it's over anyways, you know? My best friend's nickname, I just thought of it. Mr. Smee. That was his nickname. That was his pirate name. I forget what my name was. Blackbeard, I think. Something like that. Shimber me timbers. We used to talk like pirates to each other all the time. I just remember that. We used to talk to each other like we're pirates. Sweep the poop deck, you know? Mr. Smee. Batten down the hatches. Anyways, good times, you know? Good memories, you know? That's what I'll say, good memories. I learned that he's an INFJ as well. So it makes sense that we're both kind of nuts. Yeah. Hate to say that. We're kind of weird. We like Dragon Ball Z, you know. We talk like pirates. You know? Anyways. Guess that's all I say for this video. I'm really trying to see death as bad. That's what I'm trying to say. Why is death bad? We all die. So choosing how you die is bad. Choosing when you die is bad. How is that bad? You know, like I'm trying to understand this. I know this is weird for a lot of people, for me, but God knows this is hard for me to get. I don't get it. You know, there's no cure for me. Why is dying bad? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just how I think, you know? So I'm trying to change that. You know? Like, I'm sure there's a way to live a life still. I'm sure, you know, there's a cure. Someday there'll be a cure for CPTSD. Someday, you know? I'm just like, don't hold my breath. I haven't been able to cure CPTSD this whole damn time. With my best efforts, I haven't been able to cure CPTSD. I don't think God can either. So I'm not the only one. So like if God can't even heal CPTSD, no one can. That's what I've concluded. I'm like, no one can if he can't. Because, like, I just think of all the videos I've made. Have I cured CPTSD yet? No. I haven't. Maybe I've cured it a little bit, but not fully. But anyways, that's all I'll say. But I gotta get going to bed. That's all I'll say. I will talk to you later.